Hi, hello. it's been a very long time, 1 year exactly, since I last live streamed this movie. Um, sometimes I don't use my channel because I have had a lot of things go on in life lately, but it's pretty easy to set up a camera and watch something. So I always try to do Scream 4 anniversary. Today is the 13th year anniversary. That's insane. I'm about to be 26, which means that 13 years is half of my life. So Scream 4 has been around for half of my entire life, which is insane to me. I've recently been editing a copy of it this whole month of April, and I finally was able to export it and put it on a DVD Blu-ray for myself. And like I made like a little cover and everything. So this says Scream 4 Extended Cut. And I made this because I was just so sick of not being able to see the story in full detail like how I've always wanted to. I even have like a list of all the changes I've made to the film. And I understand that not everybody, probably most people, don't have a way to watch an extended version of this film. And even if they do, it's not this one because it's the one that I made myself. Um, there are certain scenes that I really loved, other scenes that I kept out because either I felt like they were just really, really boring or cliche or kind of cringy, or maybe I couldn't get high enough quality footage for it. Um, but I kept in everything that I could, and I'm going to be watching and commentating on that for today because I've done, I did it for the 10-year, 11-year, and 12-year watch party anniversary. So even if, people can't exactly do it like how I'm doing it, I still figured, do a little bit of a shakeup. And there's so many people don't even know that the possibility of an alternate cut of this film could exist. So, if people want to look it up and have someone who talks about it like in detail and in depth, I am, and I will be going to this entire night. So if you're curious about it, you know, let me know. Anyway, without further ado, I don't think there's much other than to start watching. Maybe I will point the camera at the screen every once in a while so that you can um, see some of the things. Oh, maybe I should read off the list of changes that I made. Okay. Scream 4 extended cuts made by Chase Moser. I edited the opening so that the two girls are getting attacked at the same time. So there was the version that everybody watches that is in the movie, and then there's the deleted alternate opening that's on the bonus features and the deleted scenes. One of them, the other girl goes first, and the other one, the other girl does. But I edited it, excuse me, I edited, whatever. I edited it so that way it would be them getting attacked simultaneously at the same time, and it plays out a little differently than like how the original opening does. There is an extended scene between Trevor and Jill, so them at the high school hallway. That actually shows the principal statue from like the first one because he was murdered there. So that's kind of cool. Also, there's like music in the background of the theatrical version. There's no music in this version. It just I felt like it was there's so much music in the whole film. Like the silence was kind of nice. You really get to sit with them for a second. And then there is the deleted crime scene of Dewey finding the girl's opening kill. And then there is the water fountain scene right outside of the police station where all the kids are sitting there, just like how in the first movie they're at a water fountain. Then we're seeing Sydney at home for the first time with Jill and seeing like pictures of her mother on the mantle. Then Dewey has like a security cop test and Kirby comes over. Then, back to normal. There is a scene of Jill's mom talking with her after Olivia gets murdered, and it really adds to her character because she's like not in the film a lot. And then Judy and Dewey talk about Tatum outside of the crime scene as well, and it just kind of adds to it because Dewey never like fucking talks about Tatum ever, so it's kind of nice. There is an extended or like a bonus Gail reporter scene that is outside of the hospital where she's like, after talking to those guys. And then there is the beginning of Sydney's publicist attack. She has an alternate death, and it's very quick, it's very simple. So Wes Craven actually refilmed it to be more interesting, and that's the version that ended up in the film. But I took the beginning of the different version and added it in there so that it makes for a longer sequence. And then whenever she goes to like run away and runs to her car, that's where like kind of it cuts over. It's really cool. Sydney and Gail are in the hospital after the publicist's death, and they talk about going to Woodsboro High. Kirby and the boys are entering the classroom to the cinema club, and they're talking about the Stabathon. The boys set up the Stabathon. Gail says, "Go ahead if you have the guts." I added that line back in whenever she's getting stabbed. It was in the trailer. It was not in the film. Sydney slams the door shut whenever she and her aunt are getting attacked and they're like running away. In the film, it was in the trailers, but not the film. She just like closes the door really fast, and it's so cool. But in the movie, you see Ghostface run up, and Sydney's just kind of like on the other side of the door, like struggling to shut it. But like the whole part about adding this back in is that Sydney is so amazing, and it shows you what a quick thinker she is. Like she thinks on her feet. Like that's what I love about it. It's so simple, and just like it adds her like slamming that door shut. Like not today. Like I don't know. It just looks cool. It makes her look more badass, I think. And then Jill and Trevor look for her phone outside to kind of keep like the whole whodunit thing going in motion. There is an extended shot sequence ending, which means that as it's ending, it usually just like goes to Jill's face and then it cuts off. There's a little bit more than that. There's like 10 or 15 more seconds of that, and then it cuts off. And then there is the final credits changed to be in the original format of like the font, so like it matches every other Scream film. And there's a different final credit song. It's one of the songs that was playing in the car in one of the girls' cars in the movie of Scream 4. And then there is the ghost face jump scare added back in, just like how in like 1 and 2 and 5 and 6. So 3 is the only one that doesn't have it because it's supposed to be like the happy ending. And then there is a post-credit scene of Sydney, Dewey, and Gail the morning after, you know, surviving Jill. So those are a list of all the changes. Anyway, without further ado, Scream 4 extended copy. Blah. Let's go. I'm so excited. 13 years ago. The Scream 4 was the first one I ever got to see in theaters. Okay. Hopefully the volume is low enough that I don't get blocked. I don't care about copyright. I just want the video up. You know? Wow. I go back and forth all the time with this one. I mean, it's literally been out for 13 years, and I have always considered it to be my favorite Scream movie and sequel. And then the 5th one came out, and I was like, oh, I might really love the 5th one. But after getting and editing and working so hard on this version of the film for Scream 4, I'm almost like falling back in love with it again. It almost feels like when I had it for the first time ever, like as a kid. I remember the day I got home from school on October 4th, and my grandpa took me to Walmart so we could get Scream 4. I love my grandpa. He's still alive. That's starting to sound like a sad story. It's not. I love him. Talk all the time. Cheers to that. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Is it? Hmm. I'm trying to find this video. Everybody says that these first 2 scenes on Scream don't really count as a Scream movie, and I'm like, but what are you talking about? Because you have to put on Scream 4 to watch this footage. Like, what are you talking about? It's a part of that storytelling. You're supposed to believe that it is that movie until it's not. That's part of the gimmick. That's part of the trickery of Scream 4. That's part of the fun. And so, like, I don't know. It's just funny when people are like, yeah, but this isn't really a Scream. I'm like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but, like, there's too much. There's too much there. I seriously love this movie so much. I kind of wish that this copy was like relatively available. I think people would enjoy it more. It's more detailed. Scream 4 is an hour and 43 minutes long without all of the final credits. And this version of the film is 2 hours long. There's another 15 to 18 minutes worth of footage that I've been putting back in. That's you know, almost 20 minutes, which is like a whole episode of a sitcom. Like that's another chunk of a story that we just have never gotten to see. And I really think it makes it stronger. Alright, I really am trying to find this link to this thing right here. I don't know what is going on.
There's nobody out there.
There we go.
What does it say?
It says I'm not outside, I'm right beside you. Classic. That was the scariest thing ever whenever it first happened. And this is also the first time that we see two killers on screen together at the same time. But then everyone is also getting mad because they're like, that's not really a Scream movie. That's not really a Scream movie. That's a stab movie. I don't know, like, but when you watch Scream 4, it's the first time you ever see two Ghostface attacking people on camera. So it's really cool. And the fact that these girls right here were so popular at the time and are even bigger names now is insane. That's the thing about a Scream movie is a couple years go by and people get real famous afterwards. It's really cool. I'm itching to watch Halloween Kills extended cut. That's an extended version of a film I really want to see. Again, obviously I've seen it.
I like the scary movies. They're scary. It's not aliens or zombies or
Little Asian Ghost Girls, there's something real about a guy with a knife who just like snaps. It could really happen. It did really happen. Oh my god, did you guys ever hear about that? It just happened a couple days ago. This article of this guy dressed up in a Ghostface costume and attacked his neighbor with a chainsaw. Insane.
Did that surprise you?
It's just so crazy how well this film works for me. I don't know. I love the colors. I love the choices. I love everything about it. Yeah, bitch. The amount of people that think that this is about to be stab 8, and it's like, all right, come on now. Like, at that point, it really would be ridiculous. The people, we've all done a movie within a movie, and then we've all done like a dream within a dream, like within a dream within a dream and stuff. But this is like one of the first times where it's like the characters were watching a movie within a movie, which makes us watching a movie within a movie within a movie. It's really cool. I think. This one's so different than all the other ones. I love this one because it feels like the freshest, coolest Scream movie to me. This one's also the most expensive one ever made. I think I say this all the time. Screams 1 and 2 were like $25 or $20 million to make. Scream 3 was like $30 million to make. Scream 5 was another $25 million. Scream 6 was like 25 or 30 million as well. It took 50 million. That was the budget that they were given to make Scream 4 look as cool as it could. And what that means is the bigger budget to hire staff, crew members, more shots, more locations. And that's why we're like, here, and we're here, and we're here, and we're upstairs. Now we're in this room, we're over in this room, we're over in this room. And when you're going to those locations, there's multiple cuts and multiple coverages and footage of it all over the place. It feels like it's editing back and forth a lot. Scream 5, I think, is a little bit guilty of, there's a lot of people just talking and it cuts right back, and then like this back, and then like this back. And they're very like, we're in this room for a really long time, and we're gonna use the hospital for like 8 scenes, and then we're gonna use the house for like the entire end of the film. And it's like, I don't know, it running things like this costs money. Like the amount of money it took to rent 3 different houses just for the opening scene, because there's the 2 girls, and then the second set of 2 girls, and then the third set of 2 girls, all in less than 10 minutes. And those were real houses, like Wes Craven had to pay for. Like that's where that budget went, as opposed to in Scream 5, it's like when Tara's getting attacked, it's her kitchen and her hallway, but mostly her kitchen, and it's like that is it because that's what they paid for. So I just really think that Scream 4 is like so underrated because of that fact. It needs and deserves the credit. Also, it was making about a 97 million or like 100 million at the box office, just like all the other ones. But because it was the most expensive to make, it only broke even pretty much. Sorry, this has been like me nonstop talking, but this is one of those moments where it gets different. This is now Marnie on the phone pranking Jenny for me. That was so weird. See? Now, normally, she would have been thrown through the glass door. But we see her on the floor. This whole backwards camera thing is so weird for me. And hopefully, if I stand in front of it like this, I won't get blocked.
You should have seen your face. I knew you were up to something. They sell everything. Masks, the robes, the whole thing.
There we
It's
go.
big business. Okay, well, can we stop staring?
So it's really cool because, different,
You win.
alternate,
Do you want to watch the
fun.
No, we can finish the movie. Are you sure?
It's funny, you don't realize it, but I'm literally tilting my phone the entire other way.
Yeah.
So it's really cool here that they get up and
What do you mean? I just like our boys. Maybe.
the killer is behind her.
It's
How cool is that? Maybe this will, like I said, keep it from getting blocked. And now usually this girl gets murdered right here, right? But I don't. She gets her arm cut. Yeah, still alive. Yeah. She crawls away, runs, gets attacked, at the same time that her friend is still getting attacked by the other one. And the other one has blood on its mask, and this one does not. So there's people getting attacked at the same time. How cool is this? I really hope this doesn't get fucking blocked. And now normally people would think that the title card would go there, but it don't. It do not. Anyway, that's cool. Hope everyone appreciated that. Oh, Ghostface is so scary and menacing in this one too. I really love it, and especially after 3, they kicked it up, and the blood, the gore, don't blink when I stab you in the face or whatever. It's like it's so good. They were scary. They wanted him to be taken seriously again. Like this one set the tone for 5 and 6 to be like really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I hate having facial hair. That shit is so inconvenient. I also used to have the biggest crush on that girl who was the opening kill. I don't know why. She just was so pretty to me. She is really pretty to me. I always, every time I see her, she's gorgeous. Da 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 da. Hell yeah. Oh, I just realized something. The reason that it is all is mirrored is because, like my Vans shirt, you're seeing that probably as like readable. So that's cool. Oh, Sydney, I love her so much. I'm so excited for her to be back at number 7. I don't care what anybody says. This has been my franchise my entire life, and I need her back. I love her. And she has bangs in this 4th one, just like how she did in the 1st one. I need her to have bangs again in this 7th one. I need her to have bangs and wavy hair to about her shoulders, because that's been her whole haircut this 2023 and 4. And I'm like, come on, Nev. Don't go changing it right before you film Scream 7 because it's super adorable. Like, it's one of my favorite hairstyles. So the fact that it's on her, I love it even more. I mean, she can't do anything wrong. Well, everybody's hair in Scream 3 was just crazy, but Nev Campbell can mostly pretty much not do any wrong. Oh, Dewey and Gale together. There is a couple of different scenes where, like, you know, they're like in his bathroom and stuff, and like he's like in the kitchen. Like, I don't know. There's just a couple of things, and I just feel like it doesn't work. Maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe I'll try. This is what I feel like maybe the perfect cut of the film is. Maybe I'll try to edit a version of the film that's got every deleted scene in it, even if they don't need to be in there, just so that I can say like, oh, I've watched a version of Scream 4 that's got everything in it. I know, but it's like, ugh. Not every deleted scene is a gem, people. And I want to work on doing an extended version of Scream 5 right now. I already have one, but like I want to make it better. And I want to put it on DVD. Well, I guess Blu-ray. Because I figured out a way to make things on my laptop and my editor and then put them on Blu-ray. Which is super cool. Because I'm a big fan of physical media. And the quality is a lot higher too. Because like right now I don't have this in. It's right here. I have a digital version of my extended cut. But like it's even though it's 1080p 60 frames per second, this is still higher quality. So like I just like watching this better too. And when you I don't know, it's hard to explain. And there's another version of this film out there as well. People don't really know this, is that Region 1 is our zone, which is like North America and South America, I think maybe. And Region 2 is like over in like Europe and stuff. And if you buy a Region 2 version of Scream 4, it has different dialogue, different lines, and everything like that. I don't know why. It's like the British, UK, European version. It just does. And it's really, really cool. The only thing is that you can't play Region 2 discs on Region 1 devices. So all of these Blu-ray players and Xboxes and everything that we have here, we can't play those DVDs on or those Blu-rays on. Which is like crazy. You can buy one that doesn't lock it, but you know, money. Speaking of that, I actually obtained a copy of that version of Scream 4. I just have not been able to watch it yet because of I have a region-free DVD player, but it's tucked away in my little drawer, and I don't want to dig it out. I don't want to open up the junk drawer. But I do have a lot of people don't have a copy of Scream 4 on Steelbook, and I do. I'm very lucky enough to have found one. So, Scream 1, which is awesome. I don't have Scream 2. Found Scream 3 at Best Buy. Pretty cool. Ordered Scream 4 from, like, I don't know, Germany or something. Like, the back is all, like, I don't know. Lebensspielen Hortfilm. That's gotta be German. Was und den Letzten Horrorfilm, which probably is like, what's your favorite scary movie? And I'm probably like butchering this, but it's like, come on, this has gotta be. Anyway, it's like, it's so cool. So I love this. And then Scream 5, which is probably the most beautiful one. Like just that picture and this picture, they're awesome to me. I have no fucking idea what to write. My old version of this cut, right when she does that, it goes to a different scene, but it doesn't. It plays out like normal and goes to the high school. But this high school scene is extended for me. So whenever the boys she's like, oh, Bambi, and they go inside, you just cut right to them talking in the hallway. There's a shot, though, of a statue of Principal Himbry to honor him from being murdered from the first one. Okay. All right, let's see here. Does she want you, though? See, you can see him there in a second, but that's where like the normal film starts. And then now they're gonna do this for a second. And it's Trevor by Trevor, but it's extended because like in like 4 seconds she's like, I want you to let me go, and then she like walks away. But they talk a little bit longer. And that's really cool because it adds to, the story of the film. Done with a phone call, you let someone go. I'm just trying to like not show it or have it be too close to the audio. Like I said, I really don't want it to get blocked. I want people to be able to see these things. That's betrayal, and she usually walks away right there. And usually he's like, oh, Now it starts getting back to normal. There was a whole extra line there. I thought I was going to sneeze. I didn't. Okay. Isn't this cool? Behind bars. That's Wes Craven. Playing the coroner. They should have left this in the film. They should have left so much of this. So many things. Yee. I love this film so much, and I love being able to share this. I really, really hope someone out there is watching this and thinks it's the coolest thing ever. It's pretty cool to know where the scenes go in between the other ones, right? And I think I've talked about this before too, is that in the first movie, Gail goes, I'll send you a copy. And then Sydney like hits her. In this one, Gail is like, "Oh, I haven't had a chance to read it yet," and Sydney's like, "Oh, I know where you can get one." And it's like that's such a fucking snot. Like that's such a perfect little like drawback on the 15th year anniversary.
Congratulations, Sydney. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I know you can get one.
Ah, man, it's so crazy. This all started with Maureen. And they're hugging now. Finally, I love them. And Sydney feels good in red, and Gail feels good in purple. This is the last Scream movie where they're all three on camera together at the same time. They don't have a scene like that in Scream 5. This is also the last Scream film that has them all alive. Like, sure, you got them all back again for the 5th one, but it's still, I don't know, it's just like, so there's still a soft spot I have for number 4. And it's like, I'm still really glad that number 5 has all 3. It needs to. But I don't know, it's just different. It's just different. This is green apple flavored, and it actually tastes like it. It's really good. The way that Gail touches Sydney's shoulder always makes me really happy. And you know Sydney would be freaking out. And of course it's like they fucking put it in her car, man. And it's crazy because I'm only 24 minutes into this film, and I'm just now at the part where they're sitting at the classroom in Woodsboro. And it's like, if you go 24 minutes into the original film, it's like you're past this scene already, you know? Yeah. What's your favorite scary movie? This is really cool to see the classroom, too. I love that. I think Scream 5 would have been really cool if there was a hallway attack scene. Like, how cool would it have been if Chad was, like, getting out of, like, the gym locker room or something, like, on his way to the party, and, like, was, like, got attacked at the school at night. Like, I don't know. Like, that just would have been so cool. A Woodsboro scene at nighttime. Run through, like, the gym equipment and, like, past the pool and shit, and, like, maybe, like, slice and like through the dodgeball, like basketball court. I don't know. Like, it would just be really cool. Poses many a problem in a court of law. I'm so glad they brought her back for number 5. As you do. The best part about Scream 5's social media marketing was that they posted the recipe for Judy's lemon squares. Something else that I didn't put on my little notes tab is that Sydney's cousin Jill and her, when they meet for the first time in the police station, they're hugging, but both of their mouths are covered. And so you hear them go, "Oh, it's nice to see you under the circumstances." Sydney says that. And Jill goes, "You too." But that's taken from a deleted scene that I had added back into the film. So to have it there would be really, really weird and redundant because they probably wouldn't be talking like that. And even if they did, they wouldn't say it exactly the same. You can tell that it's just a pulled and copied, replaced line. So I had to, when they go to hug each other, I had to like pull that line out and just like put background room noise in and like Dewey pulling his chair out and like sitting down and like his clothes scuffling, and like I had to find the song that was playing in the scene and then add it in. Anyway, it was crazy, but like all that just so that it would be smooth when they talk about it later. Also, Dewey's such a fucking dick in this one. And I love a scrappy Gale Weathers. I was mad at her in the 6th one, but I still love her. Tastes like ass. Some people really love ass, Gail, so that's not really an insult. Maybe my ass tastes like lemon squares. Oh, did I just come up with the best comeback ever for that? Maybe not. It was so childish, but like, I don't care.
That's it.
This is the scene I'm talking about. It's, you know, simple to me, but I like to talk about it, acknowledge it, notice it. Hi, I'm Kirby, by the way. I'm gonna be the main character for number 6.
And Michaela didn't call you? Is that a bad thing? Does that mean that I'm not going to live as long as this year?
No. Maybe. Of course not. Just be careful.
Oh my god, did you hear that? I'm gonna be next. That was one of the best parts when this first. It's still one of the best parts now. It's like people are so like used to it or over cliched with it. I don't know.
And there was evidence in your car connecting Killer to you. You made the material witness.
I'm tired. I've been called into work the past 2 days longer than I should have been.
That's comforting.
But I'm happy about that. I'm just tired.
It's Rebecca.
And this girl, this reporter girl outside of the outside of the, what is it called, police station, is really funny because I add the water fountain scene after this because it just fits in so perfectly there. And the little bum bum dun dun dun, it's like transitions perfectly, the little sound effect. So like I already had that in my favor. And like I said, it goes from the water fountain scene to another deleted scene or two of Sydney being at home. So it's like right when this character scene ends, we go right to Jill and Kate and Sydney's house, and they're having dinner and preparing food, and Sydney and Dewey are sitting on the couch talking. But it's like there's a whole like 5.5 minutes of footage in between those two scenes, and they literally just cut it out. They should have kept this in the film as well.
Maybe you got shit. Where's Jill?
Clay has to be.
Heard you two got a phone call from the staff voice this morning.
So it's like that would be Sydney, that would be Tatum, that would be Stu, that would be Randy, and Trevor would be Billy. So it's really, really cool. I mean, plus they talk about horror movies in this scene, and it just adds to the Scream feel. They talk about Alien 3. How cool is this cut of the film? I wish everybody could see this. I'm ranting. I'm raving. You know I'm misbehaving. Oh, what's this? More Judy. More Mom. We're seeing Maureen, Sydney's mom. We're at her house a little bit more. And the publicist doesn't want to stay, obviously. Sydney should have taken that room. You go to the DoubleTree. Go to the DoubleTree.
Hey. It's nice to see you even under the circumstances. Same.
That's the line that gets taken and put in the police station.
I'll get that.
See that?
Who is it?
See, there's just more content, more detail, more story. You see about how like when something scary goes on, how Sydney kind of immediately kind of like curls up to Jill and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" It's just Dewey though.
Just a test.
And that's really, really cool. Also, there's more Kirby, so.
Evening, Sid. Evening, Jill. Got a little girl loitering outside.
Hey, my parents are going for the weekend in Louisiana. I'm staying by myself.
And that's how they have Chinese food.
Someone's got to go around the back.
And now that's a shot you probably all used to seeing of her getting the plates and they're sitting down and suddenly they've all got Chinese food to eat. This is so cool. Having fun. Hope everybody else is too. It makes me so proud, honestly, actually. And I've always loved this scene with Sydney and Dewey. And you get understanding, dialogue, resolution. It's kind of one of those only moments where they talk about the gap between 3 and 4, and you're like, ooh, I appreciate that. I also just like really love holding it. Ah. Plus, I just love the cover. Like, I think this is such a cool cover. It feels very Scream cover to me. 15 years after the original Woodsboro murders, Sidney Prescott returns to her hometown on the last stop of her book tour to reunite with her family and fellow survivors, Sheriff Dewey Riley and reporter Gail Weathers. Her return brings the resurface of Ghostface. Experience this extended version for a more detailed and thrilling story. Alternate opening combined with theatrical, deleted scenes, shots and lines, extended ending and post-credit scene. That a little bit got me because I wasn't paying attention. But Trevor just like popped from out behind the door and the little jump scare happened. And so even if you know a film, if you don't pay attention enough, it can still get you. Okay, I'm gonna grab a drink really quick. I'm gonna be back in like 5 seconds. Maybe I can spin this around in a way. That way you can see the film and not get in trouble with copyright. Right? Like, surely that is enough of the screen cut out for YouTube to not bug me. Quit bugging me, YouTube. Ugh. I'm back, magically. Alright, come on, right? Let's hope that did not get us in trouble. Yeah, that's exactly what she wants to hear, Sydney. Don't fucking tell her that. Oh, nothing. It's just you remind me of me.
Great, thanks. You don't remember me, do you? Sorry?
This scene actually is like really sweet, but really sad for me. She's like, you don't remember me, do you? And I feel like there's a little bit of it's like, oh, you kind of don't, but the most of it's like, I feel like it's coming from where she's like, you don't remember me, do you? Like it was a lot. Like wow, you really don't, do you? And she's like, gets all excited. She goes, we had the same homeroom and drama club too, and like a couple other things, and I was, in the play, and you were in the play and everything. And she kind of gets hopeful and excited. And Sydney's like, I'm sorry, it was a long time ago. And Judy's like, no, yeah, no, I get it. And I don't know. It's just really, poor little Judy's so cute. This is the song that plays at the ending credits. So later, that ends up being the ending credits song. Don't ask me why I like it or why whenever I was watching this film, I heard that 10 seconds it was in and I was like, hey, that kind of sounds cool. And I chose that to be the song. I like that song. Of course, they're watching a horror movie after the people they don't like got murdered. Isn't that crazy? The fact that Jill's TV is sitting on her algebra book shows you how much she cares about school. Hey, someone says love this movie. I'm actually watching the extended version that I myself worked on. And it's really cool. I'm sharing a bunch of interesting facts, showing some scenes that are supposed to be in the film and aren't, but I put back in. So, check back in and, I try to flip the camera around to all the parts that are interesting and different. So, if that entices you at all to stay or to check back in or skip through later, by all means, please do. And I think it's just like objectively better than 2 and 3. Like, it has to be. Like, come on. Like 1, 4, 5, 6 are like I don't know. They're so good. 2 and 3 are still really good too, and I love it because 2 is the first time that we ever see Sydney again. Like she's like still kind of like the way she is when she's like in the first one, like kind of unassuming. She's not really dealing with it. Everyone else afterwards is like, we get it. It's a Scream movie, but like I don't know. I just like the later ones. More money, more gore. Hayden Panettiere is awesome. Like that's one of the things about Scream 6 that's so good too. Is I really struggle with is that it's because it's so good and it doesn't have Sydney. Man. But see, here's the thing though. Like Grey's Anatomy, Meredith isn't in every single episode. Main characters aren't in every single episode of a movie or of TV shows. Sometimes. I mean, I get this, but like I don't know. It feel like it really worked. But I still missed her. This was terrifying the first time it happened. And when people watch it now for the first time, they don't, This is only cliche to people who've seen it before. I feel like that should be a valid statement for a lot of things. Anyway, I am would we have all shit ourselves if he really was in there? Like, come on, like if he was just like, ah, and like got her. I never said I was in your closet. Also, just love that this girl in the fourth one puts her hand up and the knife goes right through. Yeah. And they draw back to that in the fifth one with Jenna Ortega, and it's so good. I'm so glad they did that. The knife through the hand thing. Like, I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, through the hand. It's called the defense wound. I struggle because this movie's so good, but I'm like, Scream 5 is so good. Like, Scream 4 is so good. This one really changed the way that the movies work. And it set the level and the tone. Like, you can't just make any Scream film from now on. Like, it's got it. Like, this raised the bar. It really did. Ghostface's voice is perfect. He's menacing. He's scary. The costume looks good. I mean, it's everything. It really is everything. And it's Wes Craven's last film he ever directed in his life before he died. And that's sad. But I still love Wes. And I think this was an amazing last thing to have your name on. His last thing in life, bro. In his life, the last thing he ever directed was a Scream movie. And it had all of them in it. And it was this one, and it was this good. That's crazy to me. And what an honor for all of those people, everyone who worked on that film. That was his last film. Nobody knew it at the time. That just shows you. Let your eyelids in half so you don't blink when I stab you in the face. You'll die when I want you to, Sydney. Not a moment before. Till then, you're going to suffer. Brushing your hair with a hat on is hard. Well, you know what? She can't say shit now because she's fucking dead. So run your mouth at me again, little girl. Sorry. Sydney doesn't know that she's the killer. I do. I'm literally just making noises because I don't want the audio of this film. I've said it 100 times, but I'm going to keep saying it. No copyright. Oh, wait. I don't give a fuck about copyright. I don't want to be blocked. Or copyright that would take me down. I don't want the video down. I want it up, up, up. Why is he there? He must have like stayed by to watch over her, but it's like if that was the case, what fucking good did you do? Another deleted scene is coming up where Jill's mom is outside of Olivia's crime scene. So right now the cops are going up and taking pictures and everything, and they're talking to Sydney, and they're letting her go. And she's walking out the front. And all those people are like, we thought this was over. Get out of our town. You're just like your mother. It's all your fault, Sydney. And it's like this group of people, and Jill walks over, and she's like, I'm sorry about what I said. Do you want to go get that looked at? And like, this is part of the film, yes? Yeah? Okay. Ready? New.
I'm sorry. I took a sleeping pill. I'm dead glad. I don't know what happened. I didn't hear it. I can't breathe. Oh my God. I apologize to you, both of you. I don't want to talk about it.
She's saying that she took wine and a sleeping pill, and that's why she didn't hear anything. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. Anyway. And then Dewey walks over.
What the hell happened?
And we know this scene pretty well. That yard over there, and it's, you know.
And I circled around to cut him off. And I met Hoss coming from the other direction.
Well, he's fucking called Ghostface. And now is about to be the scene where Dewey and Judy talk about Tatum.
Did you get it all?
Shot it from every angle.
My sister. Kate. She was a victim in the original Woodsboro massacre. Face down in the body. Life to the mentor. These aren't just random murders.
This is a Woodsboro remake. Anyway, yeah, that's where that's supposed to be. Man, we are getting through this. This movie is going. So much I've talked about already. Let's see. Okay, we've already done opening, Jill, crime scene, fountain, Sydney at home, Dewey's test, Jill's mom, talking after the death scene, Dewey and Judy talking about Tatum. So we've literally done 8 deleted scenes so far. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more deleted scenes, the different final credits, the jump scare, and the post-credit scene. So like you all know where she's like talking to them outside of the hospital, well there's another moment where she's like trying to talk to the cops. Anyway, my hat is cute, but it's itchy. It's not itchy, I have an itch. So I've got to fix that. Oh, whoa, that did not hold up. Gail said, yeah, she's Daniel Radcliffe to my J.K. Rowling. And it's like, ugh. Gail, you don't want to be J.K. Gail, you are so much better than J.K. Don't even. Woo. Whoa, Nilly. My grandpa would say. So, as soon as Sydney's publicist gets fired, she walks away and then goes right to the parking garage. And I am going to show you where that's where Gail's other reporter scene is taking place. You're a victim for life. Eat it. Eat with it, sis. Go off, period. Leave no crumbs. Ugh, I hate cringy dialogue of today. What does the it eats even mean? It eats, bro. It eats. Well, what does it eat? It better not eat any of my food. I don't got enough money for that shit. I fucking work 3 jobs at minimum wage. I can't fucking handle that. Eat your own food. It better eat somewhere else. Anyway, the high heels click off, and then her high heels are clicking in the grass.
Excuse me. Gail Munn is investigative reporter. Florida State officers. Not now, Gail. Was Olivia Morris the intended victim? Did the killer leave another message?
Yeah. Please, try this on someone else. It's been a rough night.
It's so cool.
I'm here as a journalist. But you don't know me.
Nice job. Well, then Eve, girl in the cheek. Everyone's a dark side.
Sheriff Riley. That's why I haven't been.
And then I'll show you in a second how she gets a different alternate call from the Ghostface Killer. Ghostface Killer. There's a rapper called Ghostface Killer. Ghostface Killer. I think he even did a song for the second Scream movie. It's not a great song, in my opinion. Oh, and the fact that the reporter's like, the problem with Sydney is that she never gets laid. The problem with you is that you talk about Sydney. Because there's nothing wrong with Sydney. There is no problem with Sydney. The problem with Sydney is that she put up with your ass for fucking far too long. The problem with Sydney is that you were in her life. I'm just saying. Cool. Okay. This is where the scene starts to get a little bit different.
This is Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. Fuck off.
Handling Miss Prescott's calls and appearances. May I take a message?
You're the message, bitch.
Are you writing this down?
Yes, I am. It's kind of hard to hear you. I'm in the hospital with Sydney. If you could just hang on 1 second.
I've got time.
It's you that doesn't. So that car changing and jumping is different?
You know, Rebecca, it doesn't sound to me like you're in the hospital. But I'll be happy to put you there in a fucking
And then he says, in the fucking morgue instead of just the morgue. And then he pops up and tries to scare her and chases her into the car. But then that's where the normal movie picks up, is her just getting in the car. Creepy, right? And now the whole rest of it is the same. Anyway, yeah. How cool is it to be able to say I have this? Dutch. It's Dutch. I'm so sorry to the people who speak Dutch about how I tried to read the back of the case of this thing. Scary movie too, where she's like, "Oh, don't sit like this. Don't sit like this. No, sit, sit cool. Sit, son. Son. Give it a little, give it a head bob. Give it like this. Throw it. Son. Son. Right, left, right, kick. Son. Son. Yo, that jacket is tight, son. You better run that shit, bitch. Yummy. I really hope that somebody knows that I was doing Scary Movie 2. I love the Scary Movie movies. They're about to make a 6th one. I'll probably like it no matter what. Number 5 I actually really like more than number 4. But I might even like it better than number 1. But if it doesn't have Anna Faris and Regina Hall, come on, man. They've got to. They have got to. They've got to stop fucking doing this thing where women of a certain age can't carry a franchise. No, they are the main characters. They are the people who make that story funny. It's those characters who go through those horrific situations and deal with it in that way that makes it comedy. I don't want to just see any other spoof movie. I want to see, and I'm so glad that they weren't doing scary movies during I guess they were. I guess that's what Scary Movie 5 is the whole Paranormal Activity, haunted footage thing. But the whole A Haunted House and A Haunted House 2, those didn't need to happen. They were so funny, but they didn't need to happen. They don't have the rewatch value that scary movies do. Oh, now that the publicist has just been murdered, Sydney and Gail are going to end up in the hospital again, talking about going back to Woodsboro High. And Dewey's all like, "Oh, I thought you were going rogue." And she was like, "Fuck you. Move it, amateurs." But I happen to have a lead and you don't. So.
She was just right here. 24/7. We'll be right by your side.
You guys have nothing? No suspects? Well, how might know where we can find some?
Really? And where might that be?
Could you give me minutes?
Sure, this is right. Miss Weathers.
Okay, Sid. I'm gonna need your help.
So cool, right?
Just hear me out, okay? Because if you're with me, tomorrow we're going back to Woodsboro High. And I was funny, whoever did this, whatever it takes.
And then we're back at the school. Now, this is a normal shot. This is used in the film, obviously. But then, instead of being right in the classroom, we show Kirby and the boys walking into the classroom. Because how else would it make sense that she just gets there out of no fucking reason for no reason? And a lot of people think that this is her walking out of Cinema Club. But if you see that the door that they come out of, only 2 kids come out of that room with them. And they're not wearing any outfits that are in the Cinema Club film room. Anyway, I just feel like this is literally the best place for it. and then they're like flirting together a little bit more, so it makes their storyline a little bit more strong. And then that makes sense as to why they're finally there, getting out of class, and then going into an after-school club. Because the bell wouldn't ring to release a school club. Do you know what I'm saying? So the fact that the bell rings, and they all come out of the classroom, that's what helps me. When people are like, no, people argue with me, like, no, that scene takes place after cinema club, And I'm like, then why is the bell ringing for an after-school club? That in my high school, that has never happened. And how ahead of the time was Wes Craven? I remember telling everybody how this was so cool, and people at the time were like, "That just doesn't make any sense. The motive of this movie is so suckage and stupid." But now that we've had like Logan Paul, Lele Pons, Curtis Lepore, Brittany Furlan, like all those like crazy obsessed like Viner people. I guess TikTok people now are different. I don't know. There was like this whole group of people for a while that were like really toxic and bad, and they all got canceled, and thank God they did. Like Cameron Dallas and all those stupid dumbass boys, who were obviously terrible. I don't care if you think they're cute. That has nothing to do with their behavior, which was not cool. And now everybody on Instagram, Snapchat, live streaming. I'm live streaming. YouTube channels. Everybody shares their opinions everywhere. Posting your opinions on the net, sharing your whole high school experience. Yeah, everybody will be doing it someday, Sydney. And that ahead of its time. Holds up even now. Brilliant. It's so cool to me. Wes Craven was that bitch. Not gonna lie, love watching this movie, enjoying it heavily. Seen this extended cut it says I watched it 13 times, which is funny because it's the 13th anniversary. But I'm like, very excited to be able to watch Vanderpump Rules tonight when this is over. Whew.
Where's the circle jerk going to take place?
So who's ready for this Q&A?
No, I really want the location. You know, it's kind of an underground thing. Emailing finds pretty secret. But you're not going to tell me? Really? We're working together.
So, Sydney and Kirby were at the police station, and then they were at the house together, and then they were eating dinner together. And then they're in the house together, and then Olivia's getting killed, and Sydney comes in behind Jill and Kirby, and then they're obviously together still all of that night and stuff, and then they're at the hospital and everything, and they don't have scenes, but then the next day they're at school, and Sydney and Kirby were just in the film school together. Anyway, Hayden Panettiere got to work with Neve Campbell a lot. Like, she's really, really in this movie with her. Like, Sydney and Judy have several scenes in Scream 4 together. Lots of them, actually. They're sharing, and they're in the same movie. Scream 5, they're in the exact same movie. They don't speak one word to each other. They don't even come across paths. And it's crazy how two actors can be in the same movie and not even know that they're like, oh well, I don't interact with that person at all. I didn't even know they were in the film. You know, like, isn't that so crazy? That's so crazy that we can love something that has a story that's a full story, and other people don't even know the rest. They only know what occurs to them. And this is one of my favorite scenes between Jill and Sydney. Because it's personable, it feels real. Even though you know it's fake, it still feels real. She's trying to be that way for a reason. I don't know. It's just hard. It's also really haunting. And then there's that about Sydney, is that I really hope you never have to find that out. And now here's another extended scene. Is girl, kitty, Zoe, get down. I have a cat. Hi. Anyway. An extended scene of, usually it goes to Joe right upstairs talking about the Stabathon while Kirby shows up, but it cuts to the boys driving to the barn and setting up the Stabathon, and they're playing Red Right Hand. And then it stays into the scene even after they cut their car off. And I put Red Right Hand back into the film. It's the only Scream film that doesn't have that song in there, so I fixed that. It's hard to see because my windows are open and everything, but like, isn't that so cool? There's a lot of this stuff. I really feel that they should have just released this version of the movie. Hire me to edit the extended cut. Don't even hire me. Don't even pay me. Just let me get my hands on it. I went to film school, graduated. I went to film school with 100. I did what? Yeah, that was so weird. It just had myself as a guest. That makes no sense. How do you even do that? How would you even do that in real life? Hey Chase, would you like to come over and watch Scream 4 Extended Cut? Yeah, Chase, that sounds really, really nice. I would love to. Cool. Come over. Let's do it. Like, what? I'm making a joke about the fact that my live stream just got all messed up because for some reason a guest popped up into my chat feed and it was myself and then it took over and I don't know. Technology. Anybody who streams, they know. I'm gonna see if my friend is streaming on Twitch right now. Ooh, Gail Weathers at the barn. Her line is coming up. So glad to be able to have that back in. He is live.
New work in progress, chapter 1. When I moved to Woodsboro, I never in a million years dreamed that I would again play the critical role in solving another series of these.
Sorry, I'm literally trying to like. What do you mean that? That's it. This is ridiculous. I don't get what's going on. Okay, now it's working. Okay, it told me my password was wrong like 3 times. And I was like, I didn't even type it in. I just hit refresh and the page worked.
You should let me make you some logos or something. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. You, I can't afford that though. Or so nice. I won't, unfortunately.
He watches The Sims. Or no, he plays The Sims and people watch him.
What should I do here? It's not the dream. I'll tell you that. It's not the dream. I'm thinking we do a.
Wow, lots of things going on, lots of fun to be had. It's a busy day here, April 15th. This is also the Titanic's anniversary. Insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Oh my god, I'm getting old. Such an old song.
Make this into a little bathroom. And then sort of.
I have a cat. Her name is Zoe.
This is your bedroom.
Hi, Zozo. How are you? What do you think about Scream 4? Yeah? You recommend it to the people? Is it one of your favorites? And the extended cut? What do you think about the extended cut? Yeah? So vocal. Yeah. She can't help herself. She has to talk all the time. Yes, baby girl. Hello. Hi. 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 You know, I would love to cuddle you, but Gail is about to get stabbed. That's very stressful for me. It is. Okay. Thank you. She's such a good kitty. All of my Amazon boxes are literally on the floor. I can't throw anything away anymore. I'm not allowed. She tells me I'm not allowed to. This is so cool. Everyone talks about Gale in Scream 2 and Gale in Scream 6. How about Gale in Scream 4? A fucking barn attack? Like Ghostface on a farm in a barn with hay bales. Like, I grew up on a farm with barns and hay bales. It's crazy. Anyway, ready? Go Ebony of the Guts. It's so good. So much better.
You can't be mad at it because you can't, hate on the hustle or whatever, but I just don't, I don't have the financial situation for that, and then I feel like maybe they're not actually interested in what I'm doing, they're just interested in it. And it feels like they started to respond.
I love this. I literally am obsessed with it. I can't get over it. Her.
Like a sales associate trying to be like, oh, I really like your shirt, and buy this thing. It's like, do you actually like my shirt, or were you just trying to hold me up for you to get me to buy something?
I did something today that I'm so proud of. I literally can't even believe myself. Like, I cannot wait to share it with people. I'm so proud of it. I love the cops. I really do. They have a good part in this.
Yeah, that's true. But and the other thing too, though, is I don't know if they're like they don't ever start out with like, "Hi, I'm an artist. Buy my things." They always start off like being really friendly. lessons and oh, you're doing a great job. Ooh, maybe you should choose that color and things like that. And I get very excited. Yay! Like, and it's interacting with.
This fucking thing.
Is there a window open on your last perimeter check? Sharpens come in over.
So many people watching Scream 4 recently, and I'm like, love it. It's literally the perfect time. April is the month of Scream 4. Scream 4. Whore. I'm a whore for 4. I can't help it. It's just so good. You want to be like me, you can't get like me.
You want to be like me, you can't get like me.
Sorry, like I said, I'm literally just like singing and like doing random songs and everything just to like not have anybody for any reason be like, you are trying to have a substitute way of watching this movie without paying for it. And I'm like, I don't think anybody is here watching my video trying to experience Scream 4 for the first time. Is there a lag? That's crazy. What's this lag happening? There's not supposed to be a lag. Was there a lag? Did it stop? That was weird. There's another shot coming up here where Sydney slams the door shut. And like I said, in the film, Ghostface just runs up and then the camera cuts and Sydney's on the other side and she's just like pushing the door shut. But with this little one shot added back in, it shows her being like, wham! And she slams it so fast, like, you don't even get it. Like, it just shows so much how she's light on her toes or like light on her feet. Like, she can think. She's quick, and I love that about Sydney. You're shopping? I love that. That's the last time she was ever with her family. It's really sad to me, actually. Man, when you really sit with this, and when you think about, like, I don't know, I've had, like, my stepbrother died, so, like, I'm thinking about, like, all the people that Sydney has had in her life that have died, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It hurts to lose people. I mean, I know it hurts to lose people, but, like, we watch the Scream movies, and we're just so used to it, but it's like, it hurts like that for her. We need to remember that. And I hate that. How does it make you feel that everyone close to you in this little drama of yours is dead? Ah! Sir, I've never. Get out of here. I actually really like that she watches the news. I don't know why, for whatever reason, it's just a really good scene that works for me. I like her being on the phone. It's so iconic. That was the first time I ever saw Sydney as Scream 4. Because I've wanted another one my whole life, because I've only ever seen the first 3 growing up. And I went to go see Little Fockers in the movie theater, and the preview for this movie played, and I sat up in my seat, and I literally was like, because this was back before I had internet, or like pretty much anybody had like internet at their house. At least not in Ohio, you didn't. And it was insane. It was the first time I ever saw Sydney again after all these years. It was crazy. So yeah. That her on that phone call, that's one of my favorite scenes because of that. I have to get up and show you another extended shot. This is about to come up. It's so quick. She slams the door shut so fast. Okay.
Let's get to Kirby's.
It's so quick, but it makes it so much better for me. It really does. I've got a song stuck in my head for like the past couple of days, and I can't get it out. I open Pandora's box for you. I'll bring the rocks for you. We're gonna own the night. It's really catchy. It's a really catchy song. I think it's starting to get dark. Wow, I can't believe we're already an hour and like 18 minutes into this film. That means we only have like 40 minutes left. Scream 4 has got to be my favorite. I mean, it has to be. Come on, I can't play this game anymore. I mean, I feel like I do this every year, every time. But then every time I watch Scream 5, I'm like, oh, this one's my favorite. I've never struggled with 2 films in my entire life like this before. It's got to be 4. It's 4. It's got to be 4. I'm sorry. It's got to be 4.
I'm so sorry.
I do really love 5, though. When Sydney's walking up that staircase and she's like, I've seen this movie before. Oh my god, that's so cool. Fun fact, Neve Campbell cannot drive on camera, so that was not her. She just fell asleep. It's cute.
Cher's wife, man. She's always canceling and now this. What are you supposed to do? Harvey, calm down. It makes sense. It's what the reboots do. They one up the original ending.
Should I turn on I should turn on another light, shouldn't I?
Remake. The part is the false ending. New rules. Okay, don't press guys, but I'm gonna put in staff setting. Nobody cancels my film rest.
Whoa, I don't. Come on, it was her favorite.
I didn't realize my computer was off.
Yeah,
Hysteria, going down.
you know it. I can trivia your ass at the table.
I'm on my phone is resting up against my laptop, so I was like, I'll just turn my laptop on for a light source. I really can believe how that party felt that night. Anyway, I've been painting my nails recently. Usually I do all black like this. Like black and then like some of like gold on it. But like I've been doing other colors recently just because like I feel like it's really fun. I don't know. If you've got a problem with that, then take it up with yourself because you probably have a lot more work to do than I do. Oh, this is one of those moments where, like, I need to refill my drink. Maybe I should tilt the thing towards the thing and hope we don't get copywritten or copy blocked. Or I don't know what the fuck it is anymore. I'm just tired of having all of my hard work be uploaded and then taken down. There was so many times in Scream 4 when people thought that it might be Sydney for a minute, and I was like, I feel like I kind of get that too, because for a couple minutes I thought it might be too, but no, there's no way. I don't know. I don't think I ever really doubted Sydney, but I was like, are they gonna make it look like this?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Number 4 is my favorite event of all time. It's gotta be. It has to be. It's defined my whole life. I don't know if I can ever get over it, people. I don't want to get over it. How much? That's way too much light. That's not enough light. There's an extended deleted scene of him walking around the yard a little bit more. And there's one where he is just by himself and like finds the gym area that Kirby and Sydney hide in later. And then there's another one where he bumps into Trevor looking for Jill's phone. And it's like, they're cool, I guess, but it's no different than this scene. He's just wandering outside. Nothing's being said. We're just following him. He just goes here. He goes over there. He goes over here. He goes over there. Like, it's cool, I guess, but it didn't add to the film. It doesn't add to the scary or the suspense. It doesn't draw out his death scene. It doesn't add to, I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me. And I was like, I could put it in there for like making the film longer for the sake of that, but I wouldn't. I wanted every scene that I added to have a purpose, and they all do. So there's that. But right now, like, I'm just like watching Robbie like on the porch, and he's about to like smack his head off of the thing, and it's like, this is already a 2-minute scene of just following him around talking to his webcam. Like, do we need another 3.5 minutes of that? Do we? I don't think we did. Mind you, it's after this moment, so his camera is backwards the whole time, so you're not even seeing what he's seeing. So it's like, it's just, yeah. Uneventful deleted scene. I love that Kirby is holding a DVD right now. It's like, I love like holding the DVD while I watch the film.
I'm sorry. Now would be a really good time to make a move.
What if I just had this like?
I just did. But she's actually pretty cute. Especially when I'm scared. Drunk.
I used to think he was so ugly, and it made me mad that everybody thought he was cute, and that Kirby thinks he's cute in the movie. And I was like, ugh. But like, now that I know that he's like a Culkin brother, and I've seen the whole family, and I'm older too, I'm like, I get it. There's something interesting about their faces. Like, isn't there? Ghostface comes in and bang. I maybe need more light.
Who invited you, Trevor?
Oh, I think here's another deleted scene.
Get out of my house!
I really am this crazy psycho killer, huh? I'm doing all this just to win you back. I mean, that's a pretty wild romantic notion, isn't it? Shit, I almost wish it was true.
Okay, look, Trevor, I get it. You're not getting that point taken, but now it's really
Isn't this cool? It's like more like you're seeing more outside of Kirby's house.
You sure you haven't got her?
Yeah. Hold on. You're hanging on that back.
How cool is this? And it adds to their dynamic a little bit more. And obviously we know that she knows where her phone is, but he doesn't. It sends everybody on this whole, where is my phone? Everybody in motion. I'll be upstairs. I'll be outside. I'll be outside. I'll be upstairs. Even though I just said this, I'll be that. Even though I just said I was going there, I'll be here. I'm in different places. It's fun. It adds to the confusion. Because you're saying you're in one place and you're in the other place. It does it a little bit more than how they do it in the original.
Someone has to be
And then the deleted scene I was talking about earlier is that he leaves this scene and then bumps into Robbie later. And all he does is like bully him. And it's just kind of cringy. And it's like, that's what I said earlier in the beginning of the live stream. I tried to avoid deleted scenes that took me out of the film where I'm like, oh, I'm aware of the fact that they're acting right now. Because some of the deleted scenes, they don't do their best acting in. And I had a hard time putting it in the film. Because I'm like, that don't feel like real acting to me. Anyway. Yeah, Trevor and Jill outside. And then why not watch him get murdered? Can you imagine if Ghostface just comes out of that hallway or that hallway? Ah. Matrix. I love how he's like, it doesn't help at all. Also, I can tell that they use different masks in Scream 4, but I don't care because all of them look amazing. And I have different ones that are my favorites at different points. How can anybody... There are people who really are like, Scream 4 is the worst one that exists. And I'm like... I love number 3 more than some of the other ones, but I'm like, did you see number 3? There's like no blood in number 3. And everybody's haircut makes me upset. And they don't play up the Los Angeles aspect enough. They do, but like in number 6, you get that they're in New York. And number 3, it don't feel any different. It just feels like they're in any other town. You don't get that they're in Hollywood. Hollywood, where they make movies. I mean, the movie set scene is really cool, but that's on a movie set of movie sets. Like, I don't know. Just this one is so good. It came back after all this time. I love that Kirby has a Tremors poster on her wall. And Nosferatu. I think I say the Tremors one every time. And I always talk about how Jill hiding under the bed is one of my favorite shots in the entire world. Because that was in the trailers. And I thought to myself, how scary would that be? That's a heart-stopping moment. And when you're watching it for the first time, you really are like, what if he finds her under there? Ugh. And the fact that Sydney's on a roof, that's so cool to me. Sydney could... I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted by watching. And, you know, in Halloween 4, they're on a roof. And then in Scream 4, they're on a roof. And Scream has always copied Halloween. I need to put something on a charger really quick. Kirby and Sydney. Wow. It's so cool to think about how hard everybody worked on this film. And I know some people really don't like the extended ending. I mean, like the hospital scene. Because the original film was supposed to end at the house. They even talk about it in the rewrites, like with the, I don't know. But I remember watching it in the theater that day, and when they were at the hospital, I was like, a finale at the hospital? To me, that was crazy because I've never seen any of the Halloween movies before or any other movie where people were at a hospital. Scream 4 was the first time that, like, I was like, wait a minute, this, it really does. I was like, this feels like something's happening after the movie should have ended. Well, I live in Hollywood. That's why I say that. I've lived here for 10 years pretty much. And I love the Scream 3 feeling. I even live really close by Jennifer's house. But I just feel like they don't, I feel like they glimpse over it. I feel like they focus on the Hollywood movie aspect. Hollywood movies, the stab 3. Like, it's all in your face. But like, the neighborhood out here is so, I just feel like they could have done this. They just could have done it so much more. Oh, Kirby naming all of her things in a row. Who doesn't love that? That's like the best thing. Let's see if I can list all of the movies like she does. I'm probably not going to be very good. Maybe, I don't know. I've been watching this movie for 13 years. The Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Dawn of the Dead, Hills Have Eyes, Amityville Horror, Last House on the Left, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, My Bloody Valentine, When a Stranger Calls, Prom Night, Black Christmas, House of Wax, The Fog, Piranha. I did very well, actually. I was right. I was fucking right. I don't know about you, but that moment where Sydney looks under the bed and Jill is not there, I never suspected that it was Jill. I was like, obviously, when Jill got under the bed and Ghostface went out onto the roof, she probably got out from underneath because he would have had to come back in at some point. Like, that would have been scary. Like, I don't know. Ooh, and the part that hurts people so bad is about to come up. I am so glad they fixed that. And they didn't technically fix it. Wes Craven says that he had always wanted to keep Kirby alive. But I'm glad that somebody finally took that and ran with it. It needed to happen. Plus, oh, he cringes me out. Just the fact that ugly little fucker thinks that he killed her. No, you did not. Get out of here, fucking pussy ass. Pussy ass mama's boy. Or you pansy ass mama's boy, that's what she says. I like pussy ass mama's boy. How about the fact that Scream 2, you literally don't care about who the killer reveal is at all? You're like, I don't care. I don't care. And then when he's like, it's Billy's mother, you're like, oh, that's cool. But if you weren't, I don't care. This was the moment that shocked America. I'm not kidding. The day that that hit theaters and people started seeing it for the first time, everybody was like, what? Today is the day, 13 years ago since this betrayal. Wow. Amazing. Ding, ding. And this whole kitchen scene, the fact that it's so reminiscent of the original is so great. And then how good is number 5 that they're literally actually in the same place? History repeats itself. I wanted that so bad. I actually, when I was in Ohio as a kid, I wrote a script for another Scream movie where it happened at Stu's house again. The fact that that was like a universal concept that that so many people in the world have thought about that before. That's such a cool thing. Like, obviously people really wanted that. Oh, he just got shot in the dick. Oh, it's so hard to watch. And I'm really glad I did this today because there was a part of me that was like, and like 20 minutes before I was about to go live, I was about to be like, I'm so busy and I have so many things to take care of, and like I love YouTube, but I really haven't had the time for it. Like, it really is my hobby, and for 3 years in a row, I was able to do my hobby, and I'm just so busy right now that I just don't have that time to dedicate to a channel. But I couldn't help do it today, and now I'm very proud that I did because it's documented, it's down, another one in the books. I've done 10-year, 11-year, 12-year, and now 13-year anniversary. 4 years in a row. On this day, I have watched this movie to celebrate and commemorate the release of the original. And every time that I watch it, I try to think about when I was in the theaters. And little parts come back every time. I'm like, oh, I remember how I was sitting in the seat, or when I went to go to the bathroom, or how it felt standing in line, or looking at the poster on the wall just before you went in the theater. Everything, like my grandpa's commentary, just like everything. Like, and the further I get away from it, the more I don't want those memories to fade or die. So I have to go over them over and over again so that they stick, so that they cement in my brain. Because I would never change them for anything. I went on a matinee, and it was the day after. It was April 16th that I went. It was the day after, because I was supposed to go on the day it opened, but both of my parents promised to take me, and my mom didn't. And then my dad was like, oh, well, if your mom doesn't take you, I'll take you. And I called my dad, and I was like, hey, my mom never took me. And he's like, well, I don't like scary movies. And he hung up on me. And then my grandpa, the next day, took me, and he was like, he dropped everything he was doing, his work day, and took me and went to go see that film. We actually went to Tinseltown, which was our local theater, and they wouldn't let us in because he didn't bring in paper documentation that we were family and was my guardian, which is crazy. And I was like, anyway, they wouldn't let us. So we had to refund the tickets, and I was crying, and he was about to take me home. And I asked him, I was like, well, can we go drive over to like the next town over and see if they'll just like let us go? And he knew I was so devastated and that it was so important to me that he drove over there to me to that thing. And I would have been okay if I didn't see it that day. Like, I would have gotten over it. But I'm really, really glad that I literally was devastated. I was broken fucking hearted, crying in the movie theater and in the parking lot. And some family actually came up and was like, dude, we saw the whole thing. We saw what happened. Do you want us to just say that he's part of our family? And like, we can like walk him into the theater with us. And then, because they were going to go see Scream 4 too. And they're like, he could just come in with us or whatever. And, you know, you can just say, like, we called the family. We're going to make it an event because you guys made such a big deal about it. We called the whole family. And like, you guys can come in with us. And my grandpa was like, no, I'm not a dishonest person. I can't lie. And I was like, Grandpa, please. I was like, please, they're offering, please. And I was like miserable for like 10 minutes. They made us return our popcorn. They made me return our sodas. They made me return my movie tickets, everything. Like, it was fucking horrible. It was like a 15-minute ordeal. And then, you know, he showed up for me and was that superhero and drove over to the next town. And we walked up, bought our tickets, and they were half off because it was a Sunday morning. And it was $2.50. $2 for his ticket, or $2.50 for his ticket, $2.50 for my ticket. You can never go see a brand new movie for $2.50 anymore. Are you kidding me? That'll never happen again. I think I have that. This is my Scream 4. This is the disc that I bought in 2011 from Walmart that day. That's my movie ticket. You can see it a little bit. Ready? April 16th, 2011, Scream 4, 12:50 p.m. Matinee, $2.50, rated R. Magic. Magic. I love that moment when she stabbed herself with a knife. I've never seen anything like this before. And like I said, my fucking grandpa, 65 fucking years old, took me as a 13-year-old to go see this movie. And he literally was like, this is awful. This is awful. Chase, why do you watch things like this? And at the end of it, whenever she's doing this whole like beating herself up scene that's going on right now, he looked at her and he goes, you know, based on her motivations and based on everything she said, it's really smart. He goes, that works for me. And he goes, and this is really smart of her to do as well. And at the end of the movie, when she doesn't get away with it, he was like, good, because I don't like people who get away with things. And we were on the ride home, and he goes, you know, that's kind of like an episode of Law and Order SVU. But instead of being on TV, they actually show you the violence. And he goes, I don't really like the violence. And he goes, but I was okay with it to get a bigger understanding of the story. And so he actually watched this with me, like I said, in the theaters that day. 11 years later, when Scream 5 came out, I was like, hey, Grandpa. And I told him the story. He got all emotional. And now, obviously, it's 11 years later, 65. He's like fucking 77 now. Or 76 now. I made him watch Scream 5 with me. Poor old man did not have a heart attack. Loves me so much. There were a couple of parts where he was like, oh, God, I can't see that. Oh. The one time he did that was like, oh, was when he got the knife in the neck. But every other moment, he was like, wow, oh my God, I never knew that. And at the ending, he loves the endings. That is his favorite part, is the confrontation and then Ghostface losing. He loves the fact that Sidney always wins. My grandpa loves Sidney Prescott. He compares her to Olivia Benson from, like I said, Law and Order. Come on, like that makes sense. Wow, oh my God, we are through this film. All that flashing behind me, that was just like Jill getting carried out on the stretcher. So that means that we did the reporter attack, the hospital publicist death thing, the entering the classroom, the Stabathon setup, Gail saying, go ahead if you have the guts, Sidney shutting the door, Trevor and Jill look for the phone. Now we just need the extended shot sequence ending, the final credits in the original font, the Ghostface jump scare, and the post-credit scene of Sidney, Dewey, and Gail the morning after Jill dies. Apparently she dies. Scream 6 confirmed that Jill is dead. Ah! Because I always thought, how cool would it be if she had lived? Everybody wants Stu to live. I want Jill to live. I literally edited fake Scream 5 trailers and took film or like clips from other movies and other things and made it look like the premise of the film is Sidney getting this call and she's being taunted by Ghostface and she learns that Jill has escaped from prison and then Jill's after her and coming to finish something that she started, and then this whole thing goes out into like a big bang. And it's like Jill versus Sidney part 2. And you can find those. I made 2 different. There's trailer 1 and trailer 2, and they both feature different scenes. So watch both of them. They're so cool. You can find them on my channel. It never happened, obviously, but like it's my idea of like how cool would it be if that happened? Because you know, like how Scream 5, Kirby was supposed to live and Jill was supposed to live, and like I don't know, it was supposed to be a whole thing. I did my take on that. How crazy is it that this is the same hospital that Dewey dies in 11 years from now?
She gonna be okay?
Yeah. She's a strong kid.
There's another version of where Dewey's kind of the one that figures it out. Because right now, Gail's the one's like, how does she know that I was too? And Dewey goes, oh my god, and leaves. But there's another version. I didn't put it in my extended cut, but there's another version where Gail's on the bed with him and she's like, oh, because we have the same shoulder wound. And he goes, yeah, so that you guys could live. Oh, no, no. She's like, he could have stabbed me in the heart. Why just go for my shoulder? Like, why would he do that? He could have killed me. And Dewey goes, to leave you behind as evidence, matching wounds, so that you can write a book together. Oh my god! Like, there's like a whole other alternate. I didn't use it, but like, there's a whole other ending where he's the one who figures out that it's Jill, not Gail. How cool is it also that, like, I think in Halloween 4, Michael Myers puts his thumb in someone's forehead like that, and this is Scream 4, and Jill walks up and goes, you just won't die, will you? I mean, who are you? Michael fucking Myers? And Sydney, being called Michael Myers, sticks her thumb in her fucking eyeball just like Michael Myers does. Like, am I the only one that thinks that or caught that? Or, like, do we think that's a thing now that I've said that? Okay, last little bit of this. Just to celebrate for the rest of the film. And then Coca-Cola, because now I gotta stay up for the rest of the night and do other things. Time to stop drinking. Let that be a lesson. You can drink for a film and then not have to keep drinking for the rest of the night. There's a lot of alternate lines for this as well on the UK version. I would love to be able to get a hold of the UK version and add those lines into my extended version. I just don't know how to do that yet. I'm thinking of ways. I could try to. I have the DVD. I could try to, like, put it in my DVD burner and try to unlock it and rip it from the thing and then put that in my thing and then airdrop it to my phone and then try to edit it and then airdrop it back and put it in the thing. But that's a lot of. So I don't know. I still think Jill is like the best Scream killer we've ever had, which is maybe why I like this movie so much. I don't know. Amber, though, I really love Amber from Part 5. But I also love that Part 5 has Billy Loomis in it again. That shocked me so bad. I hate drinking carbonation because then you've got to burp all the time. Ugh. Oh, I remember seeing this for the first time ever. I literally was like, and you know it's coming because you see the pressing the button, the charging up to this. She just grabs them, like, you get it. But it's like, clear. And like it. That's so iconic. That's literally like groundbreaking. What I would give to be able to have people see that again for the first time. Ugh.
She was standing right behind me.
I've visited some of the Scream 3 locations. You guys can. I have done that video as well. You can check that out too.
Nice one.
I would love to be able to go to like the houses and everything, but obviously they're people's houses.
Wear the vest. See your chest.
And people are like, well, just go anyway. But where the finale of Scream 3 happens, that's like gated off. And then there's like a whole driveway up, and it's like you can't get up there. It's like here's the road and here's a hill, and the house is on the hill, and there's a gate at the bottom. So you have to get through the gate in order enough to drive up here to see the house. It's just this whole thing. Okay, here is the extended ending. So they're doing this like lineup of all of the news reporters, and it goes to Jill's face, and then the movie ends. But it ends here. But not in my version, it picks up more. They're talking about how she's going to blow up on the blogs the next morning. And then it shows her again. Yes! That's what I'm saying, like the credits in the actual font, like how it's supposed to be for Scream. We did it! I can't believe we did it. I remember like looking at like the first 20 minutes and being like, am I really going to be able to get through this? And I'm like, oh, it's just 2 hours. I really did it. I really got through it. We really got through it. Wow, 2 hours already. And I'm so happy to be able to spend the time just like documenting, and you know, this time is different. You know, like every single time that I've live streamed it, it's been the same thing 3 years in a row. So year 4, why not make it a little different? And I'm just really glad I took the opportunity to do this because it is what I've been focusing on. I did edit this film. I did start this project like 3 weeks ago, and it's taken me so much of my hard work and time. And I was honestly rushing to get it done by the anniversary. I need to spend a lot more time on it, and I could probably really like smooth this out so much more. I don't even say this is like a rough cut. It's just like, it's a done cut. I could make a final cut. I could even make a polished cut. I just, I really, tune up a couple of fine things. I'm sure only I noticed them, being as that I worked on it so hard, like, and my eyes can't take it off of it, but I really love it for what it is, and whenever I want to, I just turn my brain off and experience it, and it's amazing. And I really love this version of the film. I wish that there was an official release of the extended version. Until then, I have my cut. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for spending this time with me and everything like that. We're still going to go through the credits because there's the jump scare and the final scene with Sydney. And that's going to be fun to, document and commentate on as well. Do you guys like the lighting of my apartment? I just feel like green and purple work a lot. I like that you can slow down, sit back, cause you ain't no one. You been living in a lie. You ain't nothing but a me. It's so good. It feels like such a good time. It's so nostalgic. I really don't know how to work this camera. This whole background thing is crazy. A film by Wes Craven. Love you, dude. Rest in peace. You did everything. You were amazing. I almost said you were amazing to me, but like, I had never met the guy. Da 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 da.
Hey guys,
Hey, Deputy.
how you feeling, Sheriff?
Better. You?
Great. She's doing
This is not an alternate way of watching the movie, by the way. This is my commentary, my experience. To be able to experience the film in its whole, rent it, buy it, purchase it, do whatever it is that you can to give it its own credit and then give it your own thoughts and witness it in a whole. This is to show you what I was doing through with my life, what I was doing with my life, my night, my life, my night, and experience something that I worked very hard on. This is a fan edit. I worked on this. I took the deleted scenes that I like. I know I've said that multiple times, but I'm just like making things clear. This is in no way to replace the experience of Scream 4 or take anything away from. It's supposed to add. It's just for me. It's personally. I don't sell this. I don't make money off of it. I just made it for me to watch and for me and my friends to watch. You know, I've given a couple of versions to my friends, but I gave it to them. You know, no money, anything. So yeah. It's a very, 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 very cool version of the film. I'm very proud to be able to own it. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody had a great night. I would review Scream 4 as a 4.3 film out of 5. And with the extended cut, I would make it a 4.7 out of 5. And it's so nice for me. I love the character development. I love being able to spend time with people like Sydney, Dewey, and Gail again. I just feel like it's got a lot of happy moments, a lot of serious moments. To me, it really feels like an anniversary film. It's just so special. It came out in a perfect time for me. I was at an age where it really affected me, and I don't know. I'm just really appreciative. And being is that there was almost a half an hour cut out of it, it was really nice to be able to experience it this way. I never thought in my entire life I remember when I bought the DVD and would watch the gag reel and the bloopers and the outtakes, the documentaries, the bonus features, the deleted scenes. I was like, how cool would it be if I could see all these things in the movie? And I never would have been able to guess that 13 years later that would be the case. So that's a really special privilege. Not to sound like cheesy or anything, but like it really is. It's so cool. It's so cool to me. It's amazing. Storytelling is my gift and my career and one of the best ways that I communicate. So it's just something that really moved me and really affected me, and someone worked really hard on this project, and so I like to celebrate it every year because it really changed my life. I really, there was a time in my life I was getting bullied so bad. I was in 8th grade. I was getting bullied so bad that I didn't know what to do. I wanted to not be alive kind of a thing. And I literally thought to myself, I can't because I haven't seen Scream 4 yet. And that might sound stupid, but it's actually really deep. That's what people do. They live for. And it's because I wasn't living for a movie. It's because I wasn't living for a slasher film. I was living and inspired every day to not unalive because of Scream and Sydney, because of she was so strong and so beautiful and capable and was a great example. And when I found out there was another one, how could I do anything other than survive any bully, any childhood trauma, any fight with a parent, anything that you could have ever done? How could you not put up with all of that just for the chance to see Sydney survive it all again? And that's what Scream 4 was for me. I literally had to be around and stay alive. I was like, I need to see this woman prevail. I need to see her succeed. Sydney always fights off her attacker. She knows what she's doing. She's quick. She is protective. She's lovable. She's a great character, and she just means a lot to me. And so these movies are more than just that. They're feelings. They've affected my life. I know it's a movie, but it's a movie that told the story. And the story of Sydney Prescott made me think I can live a better life too. So if Sydney can do that for me, I'm sure Sydney does that for other people. And I just feel like, why not celebrate it? Anyway, I've been talking this whole video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you have seen some different version of Scream 4 if you haven't. I don't know. let me know. Reach out to me on here on YouTube, comment, or reach out to me on my Instagram. See if we can't figure out a way to talk or collaborate, make it happen. How cool would that be? You know, I would love to be able to like upload this to like Dropbox or something. If anybody, I don't know how any of that stuff works. I'm always able to learn. I'm always able to Google things, but yeah. I'm just really appreciative of this version of the film and of the film in general and everybody's hard work and Wes Craven. Thank you so much for doing your hard work, and thank you, buddy, for everything he was born August 2nd. I was born August 4th. I've always just felt like this thing with him. I could go into so much more about it, but I'm just going to leave it at that. So, Scream 4, happy anniversary. Thank you so much. Call it a good night. I'll see you guys next time.